Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Good Feeling Film, and welcome to the third episode of my movie podcast. I'm back. I'm feeling a lot better this week, and let's get right into the podcast. So, for the first part, I'm gonna be talking about the MTV Movie Awards, which they're airing today. So, like, they taped it yesterday, and now they're gonna air it today. But they already put out the winners, so I'm gonna discuss it, tell you guys what I think about the winners and the show itself. Since there's some sites that talk about some of the big things that happened. So yeah, let's run through them. First off, I want to say that I love award shows. I love award seasons. I love the Oscars. Um, but I really enjoy like the serious ones where they really um, where they really dedicate the awards to film. Like, I don't know, like for me the like kiddie ones, like the ones that aren't really serious, like the Kids Choice Awards, the Teen Choice Awards, the MTV Movie Awards, and even like Golden Globes sometimes, because it's just a party. They're not serious, and some of their not categories are really stupid in my opinion, and the people they nominate are so like unworthy of the awards, at least to me. Obviously everything is subjective, so if you think a movie like Jupiter Ascending should be nominated for a best picture, then that's up to you, but for me it should not. And some things that were nominated in the MTV Movie Awards really surprised me. So let's run through them and the winners of the night, which was yesterday, but it's today for whatever. Um, let's get right into it. So first off, the hosts were Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, two people who I actually really enjoy. I think Kevin Hart's a really funny dude, and I love The Rock. I used to be a huge wrestling fan, and I used to love him. And his transition into movies and Hollywood has been pretty successful. He's being really portraying himself as an action star, not someone who's a real, thespian type of an actor, but he's in these big action movies and stuff, which it's suitable for him. Um, so the first category we have here is Best Female Performance. The nominees were Charlize Theron for Mad Max, Alicia Vikander for Ex Machina, Anna Kendrick, Pitch Perfect 2, Daisy Ridley, Star Wars, Jennifer Lawrence, Joy, and Miranda Bacher in Deadpool. Now, right off the bat, this also brings up another thing I want to talk about that very much confused me, because the title for this is the 2016 MTV Movie Awards. But they have movies nominated from both 2015 and 2016, like Deadpool. But they haven't gotten all of the 2016 movies. So how do they determine what movie is valid? So is it just like the movies up to this point, which I'm guessing in that case, a movie like Deadpool would be valid, but that's kind of stupid in my opinion. Anyway, let's talk about the nominees. Miranda Bachran, although I love Deadpool, it's one of my favorite movies that I've seen in a long time. Her character role was pretty non-existent. Like, she did good, and I really enjoyed her character, but she wasn't like a huge female character performance, so I don't really see why that got nominated. Jennifer Lawrence will get nominated forever and until the end of existence because one, the Academy loves her, and two, just regular people love her. I like her. I don't have anything against her, but it's just like pretty obvious she's gonna get nominated for that. I'm actually kind of surprised she got nominated for Joy and not something like Hunger Games, since like all these teenagers love Hunger Games, and I'm a teenager myself, but the YA stuff isn't up my alley. Daisy Ridley for Star Wars, not against this because I love Star Wars. I think Daisy really did an amazing job in that film. And we'll talk about her a little bit later in the award show. Anna Kendrick, again, one of those teen like people, because like, okay, Anna Kendrick, again, I don't hate her and I really enjoy the Pitch Perfect movies, but if you really want to talk about a best female performance, you know, someone like Brie Larson, who won the Oscar, the highest prestige in film, you know, against Anna Kendrick, that's like nothing. Um, And that's also very weird because another nominee was Alicia Vikander for Ex Machina, and like no one saw Ex Machina. Like only the people people I know have seen it because I've recommended it. And but like the regular movie audience, I don't think even knows what Ex Machina is or who Alicia Vikander is. She did win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, which I do think she deserved, but it's like not fair, I guess you can say, because like who the hell's Alicia Vikander, you know? And then Charlize Theron ended up winning that award, which I'm perfectly fine with because at least it wasn't Jennifer Lawrence or Anna Kendrick. And I think Charlize's character Furiosa in Mad Max was a badass. You know, she was one of the highlights of that movie in my opinion because Mad Max wasn't a movie I loved like a lot of people did. All right, moving on, we have a weird category called Best Virtual Performance. So this is like best performance in an animated movie or or capture motion capture performance. So we have Amy Poehler, Andy Serkis, Jack Black, James Spader, Lupita Nyong'o, and Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane and Ted 2, I liked Ted 2. It was funny to me, but Seth MacFarlane was whatever. Lupita Nyong'o in Star Wars, even though it's Star Wars, I have to disagree with that because like Maz Kanata was in the movie for like what, 5 minutes? That's it. So that's kind of stupid. James Spader in Avengers, I loved James Spader and his interpretation of Ultron. Even though I think the writing for him was kind of bland, his voice just made it awesome. Jack Black for Kung Fu Panda. I really enjoyed the Kung Fu Panda movie, and I don't really mind Jack Black. Um, and you have Andy Serkis for Star Wars, and again, it's ridiculous. Like he was in 2 scenes in the movie. How are you gonna nominate him for that? So obviously, the clear winner was Amy Poehler for Inside Out because Inside Out was a phenomenal movie, very amazing Pixar movie, and all the characters were incredible. And Amy Poehler as Joy was especially one of them, and I really enjoyed her character. Okay, best action performance. This again another weird, strange category. So you have Chris Pratt for Jurassic World, Dwayne Johnson for San Andreas, Jennifer Lawrence for Hunger Games, John Boyega Star Wars, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, and Vin Diesel Furious 7. This is one of those like categories for the regular movie fans. You're like, hey, pick your favorite action performance, yeah. And let me just talk about it. So Vin Diesel Furious 7. I don't like the Furious Fast and Furious movies. You know, I think some of them are cool, you know, but they're the same thing in my opinion. And I'm sorry if you really enjoy them and you're like, oh yeah, Fury 7. Um, but they're just like whatever to me. I could do without them really. Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool. This action performance was amazing. Just because of the way he did it, the R rating really helped him out with displaying like the violence and the pure awesomeness of Deadpool. So I think he should have won, and he didn't win. John Boyega in Star Wars, he was sick because one, you have this lightsaber fight, which yes, he lost, but that was still sick to see a non-force user, presumably, pick up a lightsaber and fight out of pure anger. Um, but like his character was awesome, but I wouldn't have chosen him. Then you have Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games, and there you go, the YA nomination for Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss. It happens every single year. And Mockingjay Part 2 was a real big disappointment, kind of a snore. And her character in that movie is so bad. It's so boring. Like, Katniss is such a boring character. I don't know why so many people like it. She's like sad and depressed, and she's bipolar. She can't make up her mind. She says she's going to do something, and at the end, she doesn't even say it. Spoiler alert. Or she doesn't even do it. So she's very, like, I don't like her character at all. Then you have Dwayne Johnson in San Andreas, which I didn't see San Andreas, but I heard it was just like a fun, stupid action movie. So I guess whatever. And the winner was Chris Pratt for Jurassic World. I still think Ryan Reynolds should have won it, but you know, people love Chris Pratt, and hell, I love Chris Pratt too. Don't get me wrong. I love the guy. I love Star Lord. But like Jurassic World was a lot of fun. what? Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of makes sense because Jurassic World was just a fun, entertaining movie. So I guess the action was all right, but I just think compared to Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds should have won. Um, all right, now let's go to best comedic performance. Nominees: Will Ferrell, Get Hard, so stupid. Rebel Wilson, Pitch Perfect 2, kind of stupid. Melissa McCarthy, Spy, I'll give it to her because I really enjoyed Spy. Kevin Hart, Ride Along 2, so stupid. That movie was not funny. Amy Schumer, Trainwreck. Me personally, I didn't love Trainwreck that much. I thought it was whatever, and I really don't like Amy Schumer, so that's my opinion. And then the winner was Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, which that's a perfect like win and nomination because that movie was so funny. That movie was funnier than all those other movies, and all those movies are actual comedies, and Deadpool's a superhero action comedy movie. Best male performance. Now, this one is kind of strange because you have some performances in here, which I'll give it to you, were good, and then you have some that are like kind of ridiculous. So you have Leo, which I'll just say it now, he won, and he should have won because this boy won everything. He won the Oscar, he won the Screen Actors Guild Award, the two highest prestigious awards for acting. So there you go. If he wouldn't have won this award, like he wouldn't have cared, but it would have been like kind of stupid. Then you have Chris Pratt, which is a ridiculous nomination for best male performance. Like his character, like was not very good. Like okay, yes, I really enjoyed Jurassic World, and it's a great popcorn movie. But if you want to see it for like character development and like a very thought out character. Chris Pratt's character wasn't that. He was just like this guy who saved the day, and that's it. Matt Damon for The Martian, I will give it to you because he was nominated for an Oscar, and his performance was spectacular. Michael B. Jordan for Creed. Um, I guess this is one of those where, you know, they nominated him because he wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Um, Even though I love Creed, it was in my top 10 movies of the year, and I love Michael B. Jordan and everything that he's done besides Fantastic Four. But that's not his fault. Um, you know what? I'm fine with that, to be honest. Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool. Even though I loved Deadpool so much and I love Ryan Reynolds, he's one of my favorite actors. Um, I just, I don't know why they limit themselves to just nominating like all this popular stuff, but I guess that's what the MTV Movie Awards are because I went to go see Batman v Superman for the second time the other day, and I got there pretty early, and I walked into the theater, and there was an ad playing for the MTV Movie Awards, and it said something like uh, we have space for Star Wars, we have boxing, we have killer bears, and we have no academy. And that just like I was like, that's so like ridiculous how you would say that because here you have fans, but if it was up to the fans, things like Fast and Furious would win like best movie and stuff. So it's kind of ridiculous to me, but that's just my opinion. And then you have Will Smith for Concussion. Again, I think this is just like, here you didn't get nominated for the Oscar, you're nominated for the MTV Movie Awards. Nothing against Will Smith though. I think he's an all right actor. I kind of think he is overrated, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But Leo won, so that's good. It's sensible decision. But this is a very good category. Breakthrough performance. You have O'Shea Jackson Jr. from Straight Outta Compton, which I think he did a very good job playing his dad, Ice Cube. John Boyega, Star Wars, also very good. Even though I guess this is like a huge breakout performance, I love John Boyega in Attack the Block, but not a lot of people have seen that movie. Then you have Dakota Johnson for 50 Shades of Grey. Absolutely not. Like, what the hell were people thinking? First of all, horrible movie, and second of all, who cares? It's a horrible movie. Moving on. Brie Larson for Room. Like, I understand it, but at the same time, if you put her in the best female performance, she wins that. She has to win that. But they put her in best breakthrough performance. And I don't think this is a breakthrough performance for her because if you've seen the movie Short Term 12, which no one has, then you see how great of an actress she is. Then she's been in Trainwreck and she's been in 21 Jump Street. She's not a breakthrough actress with a room. It's just another movie that shows that she is actually that good. That's just my opinion. And then you have Amy Schumer with Trainwreck, which was this was like her first big Hollywood movie, so I guess you could say that, but in my opinion, it wasn't that great. And you have the winner Daisy Ridley for The Force Awakens, and this is a very strong win and a clear win because this is actually her first movie, like her first movie in Hollywood, and she did a phenomenal job, and I loved her every second of the way. She deserves that, even if it's just an MTV Movie Award. Okay, then you get into the most ridiculous, absolutely stupid category that if I was an actor in Hollywood, I would not want to be even recognized for this, um, which is Best Kiss. Yeah, when some people, it becomes like a meme. It becomes like a thing that people throw shots at. Like, for example, the Hemsworth brothers. You have Liam and you have Chris. Chris is obviously the bigger star. He's Thor. He's attractive. And then you have Liam, who also lots of people find attractive, but he's just not a good actor. And then people throw shots at him because he's won an award for Best Kiss. But who gives a fuck about a Best Kiss? Like, no one cares. So, whatever. The winner was Rebel Wilson and Adam Devine for Pitch Perfect 2, and that's just stupid. Moving on. This is another. Actually, I don't hate the category. I just hate who won. Best hero. A hero is someone who defines a movie. It's the person that we rely on, the person we root for, the person that saves the day. So we have Paul Rudd in that man. Awesome hero. I loved him. He was funny. He saved the day. Awesome character. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, San Andreas. Didn't see the movie, but still not better than Paul Rudd. Daisy Ridley for Star Wars. Like, come on. She defeated Kylo. She, helped get through the movie. She was a great performance. Helped find Luke Skywalker. Fantastic hero. Not a Mary Sue. Chris Evans, Avengers. Alright, Cap is amazing, awesome, badass. Charlize Theron, again, Mad Max. She was the real heart of Mad Max, not Tom Hardy. And she was kick-ass, she was a badass. She was awesome in that movie. But at the end of the day, with YA readers and young teen girls and some boys even, if Jennifer Lawrence gets nominated for Hunger Games, she always wins, and she won Best Hero. Yep, Katniss Everdeen won the Best Hero award over Charlize Theron, Daisy Ridley, and Paul Rudd. This is absolute madness. Like I said before, her character is so dumb. She's not a hero. Like, she's not a good hero. She's depressed. She's bipolar. She's like down in the dumps the whole time. She can't decide in between two guys. She's not focused. She doesn't want to do this. She's like, oh my gosh. Like, I can't even describe how much I hate Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss Everdeen. Alright. Then you have Best Villain. You have Adam Driver. And Adam Driver for The Force Awakens won, which is awesome. Definitely deserves. You also had Tom Hardy for The Revenant, which great villain, awesome movie, great performance. Samuel L. Jackson for Kingsman, also another great villain. Very strange villain, but great. James Spader in Ultron. Compared to the other two, I like James Spader, but his writing was kind of off. Then you had Hugh Keys Bryan, who played I forgot his character name, but he was the weird guy from Mad Max with the mask thing. He was kind of menacing, but compared to Adam Driver, not nearly as menacing. Then you have Ed Skrein, Francis, aka Ajax from Deadpool. Again, cool villain, but compared to the others, not nearly as badass or the best. So Adam Driver, I think, deserved that. All right. Let me see, cause there's a couple more categories. You had best fight, which was won by Deadpool and Ajax. Um, really good fight, but let's see the other ones. You have Melissa McCarthy and Nargis Fakir Spy, whatever. Daisy Ridley Kylo, that should have. I think that should have won. Then you have Robert Downey Jr. and Hulk. That was just like a whoa, that's so cool fight, but it wasn't like a real fight. Um, Charlie Theron and Tom Hardy as Max. That was a good fight too. And then you had the little stupid troll one, which was Leo versus the bear. I mean, that's so stupid. I don't know why people. And that's again me saying how ridiculous these awards are. They just like poke fun at everything, and it's kind of sad to me. Um, then you had Best Ensemble Cast, which was won by Pitch Perfect 2 over Avengers. Hello, you want me to run through this cast? You have Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, um, Anthony Mackie, Scarlett Johansson. Like who was in Pitch? Like I don't even know the names of half of the Pitch Perfect girls. That's ridiculous. Furious 7, I think is even better than Pitch Perfect 2. Like just the cast. And then you have Star Wars didn't win. Oh my gosh. That's just plain ridiculous in my opinion. Anyway, um, next what you have? Oh, you have so they have two like recognition awards. I guess they have Generation Award and a Comedic Genius Award. So the Comedic Genius Award was won by Melissa McCarthy, and I think this is very not deserved because Melissa McCarthy, although I really like her, and I think she's funny. She just makes really crappy movies sometimes, and she's made a lot over the last couple of years. So if she wins the Comedic Genius Award and she's the first woman to do so, I think there's a handful of women I would choose over Melissa McCarthy to be the first to win a Comedic Genius Award. Look at Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, Kristen Wiig. They've actually done great things in comedy. Yeah, Melissa McCarthy has been in Bridesmaids and did a great job in Spy. You know, I can't really think of anything else. You have Identity Theft, which was like, oh right, kind of garbage. Tammy, which I haven't even seen, but I hear is plain garbage. And she just did The Boss, which I heard wasn't good at all either. So, I mean, and she kind of plays the same thing over and over again. I think that's kind of a cop out win for her. And then you have the Generation Award, which was won by Will Smith. And I think this is just like, here, Will, he didn't get nominated for an Oscar. Here's a Generation Award. So have fun with that. Um, and finally, you have Movie of the Year, which was won by Star Wars. My movie of the year, because I love Star Wars. Um, and I think if you look at the other nominees, Straight Outta Compton actually won the True Story Award, which I think is kind of stupid because compared to the other movies, it's not nearly as good. Well, to some, because you have The Revenant, which was way better than Straight Outta Compton, in my opinion. The Big Short, way better than Straight Outta Compton, and Steve Jobs, way better than Straight Outta Compton. And then you have Joy and Concussion, which I didn't see, so I guess Straight Outta Compton is better than those. But yeah, like, how do you not have Spotlight nominated for True Story? Like, hello, it won the freaking Best Picture Oscar. Like, get your head in the game, boy. Um, yeah. So that will do it for the MTV Movie Awards. Well, actually, I want to talk about some things that happened during the show, not necessarily like the winners. Um, and this is coming from USA Today. On their site, they have like a spoilers of 13 things that happened during the show. So you have Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock came out as superheroes, and then they made fun of Chris Evans, saying that they're gonna slap him back into Fantastic Four, which I think is pretty funny. Chris Pratt thanked every action hero imaginable after he won the Best Action Performance. And And then this is again showing how ridiculous this is. Um, Kevin Hart and Dwayne the Rock Johnson started singing or rapping. A Leo got bleeped by a bear, which you know, I don't know why people keep talking about this. Like, it was just a moment in the movie that was awesome. I don't know why they gotta make a big deal about it, but whatever. Then there was the Compton cast after they won the True Story threw jabs at the Oscars, which I think that's kind of dumb. I think that's kind of like low how they gotta say thank you to the Academy and then they say I mean MTV. Like you you just didn't weren't good enough to get nominated. So I don't know why you gotta like throw jabs. Like you do you really want that Oscar? Go and get it. But I mean you don't have to like shame the Oscars. Um, if you want to, do it like Chris Rock did. He actually went to the Oscars and told them what's going on. Not don't do it from afar from a low level award show. So that's just my opinion. Also, things that happened. They showed some. I think they showed the Suicide Squad trailer and some Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them footage. So I'm very excited to see that today. That's really the only reason why I'm going to see the MTV Movie Awards again, or actually for the first time, for that footage, and then I'm definitely gonna talk about it in my next week's podcast. So that will do it for my Act One. That was actually kind of long, but now let's get right into the news. There's some very interesting news stories this week. The first one I want to talk about is actually pretty big and pretty interesting because it makes us want to think, and that is first that DC has added two new movies to its slate. So a couple of months ago, DC released that they have a big movie slate, just like Marvel, in Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, highlighting their upcoming movies from Batman v Superman all the way to the Green Lantern Corps, which is in 2020. And just the other day, they announced that they're adding two new movies, one for October 5th, 2018, and that makes it three DC movies in 2018, along with The Flash and Aquaman. And then November 1st, 2019, also three DC movies in 2019, kind of because one of them is Shazam, which I don't think is going to happen, and Justice League Part 2. This also means that Wonder Woman gets moved up from June 23rd to June 2nd, 2017. And now lots of people are speculating what are these movies going to be. Well, to me, one of them has to be a Batman solo movie because coming out of BVS, Batman was my favorite part, and that movie needs to get made because if they don't make that movie sooner than later, people are going to get upset. And then the second movie can either be a Lobo movie or I'm not sure. Or it could be Man of Steel 2. But I think it's going to be Lobo since they've rumored that they're writing a script and it's getting developed more and more. So I think that the 2019 will be Lobo and the 2018 will be the Batman solo movie, I'm sorry. So that's very exciting. What also makes me believe that the 2018 release date will be the solo Batman movie is that Ben Affleck has written a solo Batman movie script. Zack Snyder said a couple of days ago to the Hollywood Reporter that Ben was contracted for BVS and the Justice League movies, but he's also taken upon himself to write a script for the solo Batman movie, and he says it's very interesting and very good. Um, we need to see this. He's written a bloody script. Let him direct it. Let him star in it. This is gonna be awesome because Batflick is awesome. He's one of the best parts about BVS. Even those people that didn't really enjoy the movie enjoyed Batman at least. I hope. Um, Again, I kind of liked it. I thought it was alright, but Batman was the best part about the movie, and I need to see the Ben Affleck directed and written Batman movie. Alright, next up we have the Spider-Man solo movie might have some MCU characters in it. Now that Sony and Marvel have come to the agreement that Spider-Man is part of the MCU, we already know he's going to be part in Civil War. That was apparent from the trailer that we saw and everything that's being said. And they're already starting to shoot the Spider-Man solo movie, which comes out in 2017. And a couple of days ago, they were talking to Kevin Feige, and he said that yeah, MCU characters can be in the Spider-Man solo movie, and people have already assumed that, but now we know it's for sure. So it brings up the question: who is gonna join him? Lots of people are thinking right off the bat, Iron Man will make an appearance, which I wouldn't mind seeing actually. If what we're being speculating for Civil War is that he joins Iron Man's team, I wouldn't mind seeing Iron Man. Maybe a secondary character also joins him, like a Hawkeye, or maybe even an Ant-Man. I wouldn't be against Hawkeye or Ant-Man joining him. I think it would be like uh, a fun time, because again, you don't really want to get a solo Spider-Man movie and drop your biggest character in it right off the bat, like an Iron Man or a Cap. So if you add like a secondary Avenger, I guess you could say like a Hawkeye or a Black Widow, I think it would work. Um, Let me know who you guys think would be a good introduction into the solo Spider-Man movie. All right, what is next? Next, we have Wolverine 3 news. Um, they cast Boyd Holbrook as the villain. Now, I'm not too familiar with this guy. He is in the Netflix series Narcos, which I haven't seen, but I heard it's pretty good. Um, so yeah, so this is interesting. This just means that Wolverine 3 is getting closer and closer to happening. It's in development. We know Hugh Jackman's coming back for Old Man Logan, and so was Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I'm excited. I want this to be, people are talking about the Deadpool thing and whether all these movies should be rated R now. And I think Wolverine could be, and I don't know if I should say it should be, but it definitely could be rated R. And as a going away party for Hugh Jackman, his final time with the Claws, I think rated R would be kind of awesome to see. So yeah. Next up is very awesome news. Is the Doctor Strange set pictures have come out, and we see Benedict Cumberbatch in full Doctor Strange costume, along with Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo on the streets of New York filming. And actually, their filming has just finished, and we're getting a new trailer on Tuesday, which I'm so excited for. I can't wait to see how this movie is going to look and play out. And we also got our first look at Mads Mikkelsen's villain character with like some weird purple crackling eyes, which looked awesome. So yeah, this movie is so hyped for me. I can't wait, even though I know nothing about Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch looks exactly like the comic book character. And again, true, like the cast is amazing. You have Chiwetel Ejiofor, you have Mads Mikkelsen, Rachel McAdams, Tilda Swinton. A very amazing cast full of talent. And yeah, these set pictures were awesome. There's also a funny meme of like them just jumping, and that just made me think like movie magic is crazy. If like the director's just like, okay, run and just take a jump, and then in the actual movie we'll see like some weird spiritual like magic going on, and all they did was jump. All right, next up we have Edge of Tomorrow 2. It's actually being directed by Doug Liman, not Christopher McQuarrie, like Deadline reported a couple of months ago. Christopher McQuarrie himself went on Twitter and corrected, saying he's not directing Edge of Tomorrow 2, that Doug Liman is coming back to direct the sequel. And I'm actually happy about this because he did a phenomenal job with the first Edge of Tomorrow. And I think he should come back to direct the sequel. He knows the story, he knows the actors, and I'll be excited for Edge of Tomorrow too, and hopefully this time they actually name it right and don't switch the title like 3 times, so they actually get people in the theaters to see a kick-ass movie. Next up, we have Furious 8 casting. Charlize Theron and Christopher Hivju from Game of Thrones are cast. Charlize Theron is now cast as the villain, and Christopher Hivju is the main henchman for Charlize Theron's character. Now, like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of the Furious movies. I don't really care about them, and the fact that they're making like whatever, like 6 more or something like that, I don't really care. I don't need them. Am I gonna go see them? I guess, yeah, to talk about them, and you know, I don't really care. But if they're adding Charlize Theron to the cast, I mean, she's a very talented, a very great actress. So let's see how this turns out. If it's any different than the other movies. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more topics to talk about. Next up, we have Kingsman casting, and they have added Pedro Pascal to the cast. Now, Pedro Pascal, you might know him from Game of Thrones, as Oberyn Martell, I think his name was. And I loved this character in Game of Thrones until, spoiler alert, he died. And now it's being stated that he's been cast in Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and he will be a part of the American counterpart to the Kingsman, the Statesman. He's going to be joining Halle Berry on the American side, and this is great. You know, it's never a bad thing to add talent, and I think Pedro Pascal is a pretty good actor, and he does action very good. So putting him in Kingsman is not a bad thing at all. Speaking about Kingsman, another news arose, and that is Colin Firth coming back for Kingsman? This has been brought up because Taron Egerton posted on his Twitter a picture of a poster that said, "Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated," and it has like the glasses of Colin Firth on the poster. So this brings up the question, is he going to come back? Because if you know from the first movie, again, spoiler alert, he gets wrecked and gets killed by Samuel L. Jackson. So what's going on? Like, did he die? Did he not? This is very interesting. I personally don't think they have to bring him back, or they should. It all depends on the way they do bring him back, if they decide to do so. But yeah, I love Colin Firth as an actor, by the way, and I love the first Kingsman, and I'm very excited for the sequel, especially because Matthew Vaughn's coming back to direct. All right, next up we have 2 news reports about kind of the same thing. First, we have Jake Gyllenhaal's Boston Marathon movie casting. Now, if you guys didn't know, in 2014, I believe, there was a tragic accident with the Boston Marathon bombing that killed a couple people and scared the shit out of a whole bunch of other people. And after that happened, there was reports that there was a lot of people were starting to make these Boston Marathon movies, and Jake Gyllenhaal's behind one of them. And now it's being reported that Miranda Richardson and Clancy Brown are joining the cast of his movie. Miranda Richardson is known for such films as The Phantom of the Opera, Empire of the Sun, and she's been in the Harry Potter movies. And Clancy Brown, of course, he's in Shawshank Redemption, and he was in Daredevil Season 2 recently, and he was pretty good in that. I think Clancy Brown's a great actor. I really haven't noticed or seen Miranda Richardson, so I wouldn't be able to say. But Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorite actors right now, and I'm very excited to see his Boston Marathon movie. But someone else's Boston Marathon movie that I want to see even more is Mark Wahlberg's Patriots Day, because his cast is crazy. Let me just tell you about this cast. Okay, you have Kevin Bacon. He's playing an FBI agent, Richard Deslores. Kevin Bacon, I love the guy. You know, I don't think he's like the most talented actor out there, but Kevin Bacon is great to see and everything. Then you have John Goodman, who's playing Boston Police Department Commissioner Edward F. Davis. John Goodman has been really surprising me lately with great performances. He was just in 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I thought his character was awesome. Great performance. Not bad to add talent. Speaking of talent, also involved is J.K. Simmons as Sergeant Jeffrey Pugliese. J.K. Simmons, again, one of my favorite actors. He's Oscar winning for his role in Whiplash, which is one of my favorite movies. I love the guy, and I want to like everything he does is amazing. Then you have Michelle Monaghan, who's playing Carol Saunders, the wife to Mark Wahlberg's character. And you have Jimmy O, who's playing Dung Meng. Um, he's a Chinese technology master who was carjacked by the bombers of that day. So this cast looks amazing. Plus, you have Mark Wahlberg. This movie is shaping up to be a great movie, and the release date I believe is in during Oscar season. So it's lining up for some awards buzz. Speaking of a movie that should get awards buzz is Christopher Nolan's World War II movie Dunkirk, and it's being reported that Cillian Murphy, one of Nolan's favorite actors to work with, is cast in the movie. They've worked together in other films such as the Dark Knight trilogy and Inception. And Cillian Murphy, I think he's a very talented actor. He just adds a lot to movies, just like his presence as an actor and his face is great in movies. And the cast that he has for this movie is already great. You have Kenneth Branagh, Mark Rylance, and Tom Hardy. You just add Cillian Murphy. This movie is looking very, very nice, especially to me because I love World War II movies, and this looks like something I really want to see. All right, next up we have Predator movie news, and that is that 50 Cent might be attached to be in the new Predator movie reboot. He himself said that he was part of the project, but there's not been confirmation from the studio. How do I feel about this? I'm not too sure, really. I'm confident in Shane Black to direct and write the movie, but if you have someone like 50 Cent being like a key role, that would kind of make me nervous. But if he's just like part of the cast and gets killed off by the Predator in some epic way, I'll be fine with that, really. But yeah, just want to let you guys know that he said he is part of it, but we have no real idea if he actually is. All right, next up we have Jon Favreau is still working on that Magic Kingdom movie. Now, Jon Favreau has been attached to this movie since 2010. I'm sorry. And in an interview with Collider, Jon said this. He said, "Well, hopefully now with this collaboration, if it works out well, we can explore what Magic Kingdom could be. Magic Kingdom is a story I've been developing. Michael Chabon wrote the draft about Disneyland coming to life and all of the different lands and attractions all overlapping one another and creating a big adventure that a family gets caught up in. It's something I feel very passionate about. Part of the reason I explored this technology I used on Jungle Book is because I was considering it for that film, and maybe it might be something we work together on. This is something very interesting to me. I would love to see Jon Favreau's vision for the Magic Kingdom, and from what I've been hearing about Jungle Book, that movie is amazing. And from the trailers and everything, that technology, if he could implement that into the Magic Kingdom universe, I'd be all for it. Those animals look real as hell, and I want him to do this. I think it would be a very fun, interesting story, and way better than the Tomorrow World movie. Um, so yeah, I hope Jon Favreau can get this movie off the ground and actually direct it. All right, guys, that will do it for the news of the week. Now, before we move on into the final segment of the podcast, I want to talk to you guys about this check this out movie of the week, and that would be a little movie called 13 Assassins. Now, this is a very sick film. It's a Japanese foreign film, and yes, I love me my foreign films, but this movie is a very fun time. It's filled with action, very sad moments. There are some moments that really hit you and you're very disgusted by. But there's humor even. It's actually some moments where it's very funny. But the best thing about this movie are the awesome battle scenes with samurais kicking ass. You know, like if you think about the Japanese movie, this movie times 10. Like these samurai are crazy. All the blood, all like it's amazing to see. It's a beautiful looking film. It's something very special, and I'd recommend all you guys seeing this movie because you're gonna be very entertained with 13 Assassins. All right, now we're moving on into my very last part of the podcast and the part which I'm most excited to talk to you guys about, and that is the very highly anticipated, my number one most anticipated movie of the year. The teaser trailer for Star Wars Rogue One finally came out, and I'm here to talk to you guys about it because I loved this trailer. This trailer was fantastic. Um, First off, the tone of the trailer is completely different from The Force Awakens, which I love. Star Wars and Disney needs to do this. They need to differentiate between their saga films and their anthology slash a Star Wars story movies. And with this first teaser, they're doing just that, which I think is perfect. So I'm going to run through it and break it down and discuss it with you guys. So first off, we get an amazing music. And one thing about this movie is that John Williams is not scoring it. So it's very interesting to see how the score is going to be. But from the trailer, I love the music at the beginning and at the end. You get like a weird a mix of the Imperial score, which I very much enjoyed. So we first see Felicity Jones' character being escorted on the rebel base on Yavin, it seems, and she's handcuffed, and she says her name is Jane Erso or something along those lines. Jane Erso. Um, so that's the name of her character. Now we know. And they say she's being arrested for forgery of Imperial documents, resisting arrest. Like she's being arrested by the rebels. So it's interesting to see what her character is actually, because from this it doesn't seem like she's a full-on rebel. It seems like she's being taken by the rebels to do this mission, which is steal the Death Star, which is to steal the Death Star plans. So then we see an amazing shot of Mon Mothma, um, and it's the same actress which played her in Episode 3, which those scenes were cut from the movie, but if you see the deleted scenes for Revenge of the Sith, you see her in a meeting talking with Padme and stuff. So it's great to see that they got her back for this movie to actually play Mon Mothma, and I think it's just great. She looks so much like Mon Mothma. It's crazy. Then we see the Death Star, and it's implied what the story is about somewhat, which is to steal the Death Star plans. But Mon Mothma tells Felicity Jones's character that there's a major weapons test imminent, and they need her to find out what it is and how to destroy it. Then we get to hear the great Imperial sirens going off in the background on the base, and that gave me chills hearing those sirens. And then we get the first look at Ben Mendelsohn's villain character, and when I saw this guy, I flipped out. I was like, oh my gosh, because the first thing I noticed was he was wearing some sort of admiral attire, the all white with the cape, and he was also holding a gun, but he was wearing Grand Admiral attire. And the first thing that popped into my mind was Grand Admiral Thrawn, who was a Legends character from the book series. And he could be Thrawn, he could be an interpretation or a Thrawn type character, but I don't necessarily think he's going to be called Grand Admiral Thrawn. If he is, I'm going to flip shit. But I think they're just like paying homage to the character, and interpreting it in a different way. Um, and then we see Forrest Whitaker, who looks badass in this movie. And we don't really know what his character is. It's being speculated he's a bounty hunter of some sort, and he has one leg because if you see, he has a walking stick, so that could be implied. And he has some great lines in this trailer. Then we see a new stormtrooper look. It's all black, and I believe they're called Death Troopers, or they're called Shadow Troopers, but I think it's Death Troopers, um, which they look awesome to me. And we also saw a lot of OG Stormtrooper designs, which you gotta love those Stormtroopers. And I wonder if they're gonna like miss a lot, but whatever. Let's not talk about that. Then we see a robot, which I caught when I saw the trailer, and it's following Felicity Jones in two scenes. And it's possible this is Alan Tudyk's character, who is rumored to play a motion captured droid. So I think this could be Alan Tudyk's character, and I guess he follows Felicity Jones's character into battle to get the plans. So that's interesting. And then we see the great Donnie Yen and his blind character wrecking some stormtroopers. He looks awesome. I don't know what his character is, but he just looks awesome. And then comes a very controversial scene in the trailer, which is we see a all black cloaked figure, and then he kneels in what seems to be an Empire chamber, and then in that chamber you see two Emperor Royal Guards. So that implies it is like a bad guy, probably, most likely. And people are saying maybe it's Darth Vader, but then also people are saying he's clearly wearing a hood, and Darth Vader never wears a hood over his helmet. But other people are saying maybe he's not wearing the armor or the helmet. But maybe it might be Mads Mikkelsen's character, which we didn't see in the trailer, like straight up. Um, Maybe we did see him. Maybe he is that character. We don't know who that character is, but it did leave a lot of questions. And then we get the amazing shot of the AT-AT shooting at the rebels on the ground. Um, and this just shows you that this is going to be a war film. It's Star Wars, but this is going to be a war film for sure. Also, we see palm trees. The first time we really see palm trees in the Star Wars movie. So I hope they tell us what planet that is, and give us some new terrain. Because I'm tired of seeing these desert planets or these snow planets. I want some new stuff. And at the end, we see a great shot of Felicity Jones in some Empire armor. Like, we don't really know what that means. Like, is she an Imperial spy, or is she disguising herself to be in the Empire to infiltrate the Death Star? We really don't know. But overall, guys, I loved this trailer. I've seen it easily like 20 times. And I've seen reactions on it countless number of times. It's just a great trailer, and it got me so excited to see the movie. I think we're gonna get a full trailer around Comic-Con or Star Wars Celebration, because this was a teaser trailer. And when they told us that a teaser trailer was coming out, I was expecting like 30 seconds, but we got a 1 minute and 30-second teaser trailer, which was great. So I loved it. Let me know what you guys thought about the trailer. I know lots of people really enjoyed it, but I know other people weren't really thrilled by it. They were kind of underwhelmed. So I'm curious to know what you guys thought about it. And actually, that will do it for my podcast, my third week of podcast. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week, and I hope you guys keep coming back for more. Click the thumbs up button and subscribe. It always means a lot. I'm loving doing these podcasts. So that will do it for me, and I will catch you guys next time.